Why did people in the past face such harsh punishments? Let's uncover the reasons behind these extreme measures. But before we dive in, just a reminder that we have some amazing crime and punishment models on our website, as well as artifacts from many periods of history. Back in the day, staying out of trouble was no joke. These harsh punishments were meant to scare people into following the rules. Imagine seeing someone in the stocks at the town square. It was a clear message: break the rules and this could be you. The idea was to keep order and make people think twice before committing a crime. Back then, there weren't many ways to catch criminals, so extreme measures were believed to keep everyone in line. The gallows were a common method of execution, particularly from the 11th to the 19th centuries. Used across Europe and North America, hanging was seen as a swift and public way to deal with criminals. It became a symbol of state power and was often carried out in town squares to maximize its deterrent effect. Ball and chain were used primarily in the 18th and 19th centuries. The ball and chain were a form of punishment for prisoners, especially those sentenced to hard labor. The heavy iron ball attached to a chain restricted movement and served as a constant reminder of the individual's criminal status. Hand shackles or handcuffs have been used since the medieval period, primarily to restrain prisoners. They continued to be a common form of punishment and control through the 19th century, often combined with other methods like the ball and chain. The pillory was a device used from the 14th to the 18th centuries, designed to publicly humiliate offenders. Offenders' heads and hands were locked into the wooden frame, leaving them exposed to public ridicule and sometimes physical abuse. The ducking stool was used mainly in the 16th and 17th centuries to punish women accused of witchcraft or other offences. The accused was strapped to a chair and dunked into water, often repeatedly, as a form of public shaming. Neck shackles or iron collars were used from the medieval period through the 19th century. These were used to restrain and publicly shame prisoners, often in combination with being chained to a post or wall in a public place. The gibbet was a form of post-mortem punishment used in the 16th to 18th centuries. The bodies of executed criminals were displayed in iron cages, left to decompose as a warning to others. This was especially common for those convicted of serious crimes like murder or piracy. The guillotine became infamous during the French Revolution in the late 18th century. It was seen as a more humane method of execution, quickly adopted across France for its efficiency. The guillotine continued to be used in some countries until the 20th century. The executioner's axe was used primarily in medieval Europe up until the 19th century for beheading criminals of high status such as nobles and royalty. The axe was seen as an honorable death compared to hanging, though it was still a brutal and public affair. Stocks were used from the medieval period until the 18th century as a form of public humiliation. Offenders had their feet locked in place, leaving them vulnerable to public scorn and sometimes physical abuse, such as being pelted with rotten food. These punishments, though harsh by today's standards, reflect the values and societal norms of their respective periods. The public nature of many of these methods was designed to deter others from committing crimes, using fear and shame as powerful tools of control. As societies evolved, so too did their approaches to crime and punishment, leading to the more humane systems we strive for today.